Hello, my name is Diarmuid. I'm an independent alliance candidate in the general election. I'm asking for your vote in the Cork North West constituency. In the last 5 years during the lifetime of this government, they've benefited hugely from a number of external factors. First of all, you had the record low interest rates, which is keeping the payments on our national debt down. When they rise, we're in trouble. Then you have the drop, huge drop in the exchange rate for the euro against the dollar and the pound, which has seen our exports rise to both the UK and the USA, and has also seen a rise in tourism from both of those countries, taking advantage of the new lows. Then you have the quantitative easing programme by the ECB. They're buying up Irish bonds, government bonds on the secondary market, which is keeping the price of those down. And then you have, of course, the oil prices, which are down, really gone down over the last couple of years. And depending, considering how much we depend on oil for our energy, this has been a huge benefit to the country. But then against that, you look at the things that this government did have control over. You look at the HSE crisis, for example. I mean, the number of people on trolleys, it's a national disgrace. There's no other way to describe it. Like, this government is fond of talking about the Trinity, the Holy Trinity of the nurses, the guards and the teachers. But in fact, what they've done to those three vital professions is they have cut hugely the number of people on the frontline staff, and they have also decimated the salary and conditions, working conditions of those three vital services, very vital services. So, and is it any wonder then that you have a crisis in all three? Then you have our farmers, God help them, and they really are going through hard times at the moment, but especially in this constituency, because you have a lot of small farms, that are not really that viable anymore, because you still have the situation in this country where the biggest farmers are getting the biggest slice of cap, when it was actually meant to help those who most needed it. Then they're being snowed under, and I think they're being driven demented as well by the paperwork, the farming inspections and all that goes with it. And all of this is happening under the watch of this government. You have the homelessness crisis that they've created. You have the poverty crisis that they have created. You have the home repossessions in this country. It was facilitated by legislation that they put in, enabling the banks to do this, quicker, faster, easier. Like, at this stage in this country, you have evictions and immigration taking place in numbers that we haven't seen since the 1800s. Stuff that we thought we'd left well behind us. It's all come back under this government. Is it any wonder is it any wonder that you have record numbers of suicides and record numbers in depression? People like that just can't take this anymore. And then you have the scandals, scandal after scandal after scandal by this government. You have SiteServe, you have Irish Water, the money that was wasted in that. You have Aircode, the money that was wasted in that, despite the best advice from independent bodies. You have NAMA, and you have the too soon, too cheap sell-off of their property portfolio, and very often to vulture funds, which then very quickly turned those sales around and made massive profits on them. This was all money that we could have had. You had the giveaway, and it was the giveaway of our oil and gas to companies like Shell. I don't know where this stops. To me, probably the most disgraceful of all was the IBRC wind-up. And, rather than challenge the ECB on the legitimacy, never mind the legality of those promissory notes, the €31 billion promissory notes, Michael Noone and this government simply caved in. But what they did was they took the pressure for the repayments off their own shoulders and transferred it onto the shoulders of future generations. What a legacy to leave anybody. But, when you examine it, it is just one bad decision after another by the most incompetent of ministers. So many of them, but probably the worst of all was Phil Hogan. And not alone was he not fired, he was promoted to one of the most important jobs in Europe. Like, Agriculture Commissioner is a massive job. And I think this is a measure of the judgment of this government and the people who are in it. The one area, I suppose, where there have been moral classes in PR and spin. And the latest effort that they have out there now is they're using fear, the fear factor, because it was so effective on them. We know from the banking inquiry that the moment Taoiseach issued his threats, they caved in. They never even argued, never mind fought. And they think that the same thing will work on people in this election, but I'm asking people, 100 years after 1916, we need another revolution here. And I'm asking you, please take courage. When you go to the polling booth on Friday, and please go, because this is what people fought and died for. Vote independent. Don't give in to the fear. Use the evidence of your own ears, the evidence of your own eyes, the evidence of your own common sense. You know what has happened here in the last 5 years. It's time for change. Please give me your trust. Give me your vote. One promise I'll make you. I will be your voice in the Dáil. Thank you.